Hey, welcome back to another week at Rookie Roost. I'm Sean, and it's a special day because it's a weekday, it's past 8 p.m., and I'm in the tiny house. This is something I wouldn't have been able to do last week, so pretty cool. I'm not here to do much, but I kind of wanted to get some kind of a workstation in here so that I could actually be editing videos inside the tiny house. And that's a big deal because it means when I'm halfway through editing something and I'm realizing I need some more footage or something, I can just get it. And that would be really convenient. So this is the area where the TV slash desk slash whatever, I'm not sure how it's all gonna work in here yet, some kind of a cabinet for entertaining purposes and work purposes will be in this area below this window. So what I'm thinking is I have this spare shelf type wood that I was using for a TV bench previously, something I dismantled. And I'm thinking about just kind of attaching it to this wall, you know, using some wood at a 45-degree angle to kind of just hold it on there. And that way I could put my laptop and hard drives and whatever else on that and pull up a chair and do some work. So that's all I'm going to do tonight. Quickly whip that up. It's nice to be here on a Wednesday getting things done. Okay, so here is the shelf, basically, that I had lying around. Made a couple of angled arms that are just going to kind of sit on there for the shelf to go on. Just got to figure out how high I want to make it. And a standard desk is like 29, 30 inches high. I'm going to make it 28 because I kind of like it a little lower. It's a bit more comfortable for where the keyboard sits. 28 over there, 28 over there. I leveled up the trailer pretty well, I think, the other day. So this should work. Close enough. That's probably like right at the top of this header here is where the bottom of this has to be. Yeah, pretty much exactly. It'll be a little bit above 28. The thickness of this is probably about 5/8. That should be just fine. Give it a little test. Make sure I'm not totally off my rocker here. I wouldn't call it level, but it's not horrible. 28 1/8. Really? A quarter inch off? Well, that's better. I can make that better. Alright, and I wouldn't sit on it. So obviously I need something to support the back. I don't even know if I should screw it on or just leave it. Yeah, I'm gonna screw it on. There could be some expensive stuff on there. Wouldn't want it falling off for no good reason. You know it'll do the trick. One little screw right in the back. There it is. Now if I had just remembered to bring a chair. Anyways, 9 o'clock and I work tomorrow, so I better get home. I could just get a massive TV that just folds down from the loft. Covers this whole wall. Wow. Okay, so I'm working on getting the rest of the propane system set up. This is kind of my idea. So this is the regulator auto switcher that has to go on the outside of the house that the tanks actually connect to. The tanks connect in through here. And my idea is that this will sit attached to this block, and then the block will sit here and attached to the metal through here, and then through the metal into the wood of the joist for the subfloor. So it'll be well attached. I'm not worried about it falling off or anything like that. But this is really low down, and that worries me a little bit. It's gonna be a little lower than this, so it'll be the lowest thing on the trailer. I don't know if that's a problem or not. I mean, it does mean that the clearance below the trailer is technically less, especially right there. So it's probably not a good idea. The alternative is that I put it up here, probably cut this block down, maybe even up here. It's a lot less hidden, it's a lot uglier. I was gonna paint this black if it was down there. Up here, I might paint it white, I don't know. If it's up here though, it needs some kind of enclosure. At least under there, it's below and we'll get a bit of protection. So I'm just working through this, trying to figure it out. So I think I have to do the uncomfortable thing, which is mount this kind of up high-ish, and I left just enough of this to be able to make it so this can be centered between the trims, I'm hoping. I'm gonna trim this a little bit, flare it, and kind of get this all ready. So it's gonna be tucked up in here, come out 90 straight up into this. It's the simplest, it's the safest. I'm gonna have to build some kind of a housing for this out here, and it does ugly up the front of the house a little bit. The whole plan was to have a deck that either goes above the tongue or maybe above all of this. I don't know yet. A little disappointed, but it's for the best. So let's see if I can do this without screwing it up. Oh ho ho. Don't do that. Do not do that. Holy crap. Almost made a massive mistake. Cannot afford to be so stupid. Okay. You gotta put these on first before you flare it out. Very important. I really don't like this part. I don't really know if I'm doing it right. At the end of the day, though, I could rip all the lines out and do it again. The low cost of copper. So that goes on like that. And that'll attach to this. It's not bad. I don't have a lot of play in here. I kind of have to make a perfect cut, which is terrifying. I think I might have gotten it good. Oh, I did it. Oh my god, I did it. I f***ed up big time. Would have been perfect. Now it's not gonna be. I've gotta see if I can salvage this. Idiot. Hopefully I can drag this one over a bit. Man, that would have been perfect. No choice but to try and salvage this. Alright, another day at the tiny house, and today I'm going to be putting these loft joists back in. I took these out earlier in the week because what I want to do is put some Acoustiseal and poly behind the joist hangers so that when I put them on this time, they never have to come off for polying. I can just match the poly up when I go to do the vapor barrier on the rest of the walls and just tape up the seams. It'll be a lot easier than trying to work around these things later, just putting it all behind right now. And I want all this done now because I want to be able to use this for storage again. Right now everything is just kind of crammed below in the bathroom, and I want to get all that stuff back out of there, put it up here so I can carry on making progress down in the main part of the house. So I want to give myself a generous amount to work with so I'm not fighting with it later. So first I just stapled the poly on the wall, and now I'm just going to kind of tape it up out of the way. And then it's our old friend, the Acoustiseal. I haven't used this stuff since the subfloor. And I'm just going to put enough of this stuff on there to go behind these, because I can always put in more afterwards, kind of just flapping the poly around, and I don't want to go overboard with this stuff because it can make a huge mess. One of the most awkward things I've done yet. I hope this works properly. Got the black goop in place. Now I'll release the poly. Oh, I guess that's how that's gonna go. Oh my god, how am I supposed to do this? From up here. Dumb idea. I'm not gonna do the one in the far corner there, because it's a little hard to reach. So I'm gonna get this joist in first, and then I can put it in there. So I gotta do the other side. Awkward. I hope I can see the screw holes later. So the way I see it is, I could just kind of get the insulation in behind there when it's time to do that, or wiring or whatever else I gotta do in that area, and hopefully the poly won't be a big deal. If it is, I could always slice it down the middle and just tape it back up, and it'll all be sealed. If you have no idea what this poly is for, it's basically to create a moisture barrier between the inside of the house and the insulation of the wall, so that no moisture can be trapped inside the wall, because a lot of moisture gets generated inside a house from, you know, people being in it and showers and cooking and all that. And you don't want that getting inside your walls. Alright, it's all back together. I'm not going to fasten those down until I get the plywood on here and make sure that it's sitting level, which is the same thing that we did for this one. We kind of got the plywood on and we realized we needed to shim up a couple of the joists for this loft. Just a little bit, like a 16th here and there. So I'm going to cut the piece of ply that goes here and test fit it. Here's a better idea. Just stuck a level across the 3 joists, and the middle one is a little low. The one kind of crappy thing about working inside of a warehouse is it's kind of dark, so I'm gonna think about getting some more lights. Okay. Yeah. Oh god. I've learned to make things like this a 1/4 inch smaller than the span or the width of the house in here, because it's the only way you can get things to actually fit. And an 1/8 inch on either end of something like this, not a problem. Finally, now I can put all that stuff up here. Maybe a baby's room? It's a little tight. So I'm feeling fairly overwhelmed today and this weekend in general. There's just, at this point in the house construction, there's like just 100 things that I could do that need to get done, and figuring out what to do in what order is just kind of weighing down on my mind a bit, which is why I'm just kind of doing random stuff right now. I'm about to put some silicone into the wheel well area to seal that up completely from the outside before I put insulation in there. Just another random task. I've got so many of those I can do. You know, I was working on propane yesterday, the storage loft today, and I really got to get to electrical. And I got to get those appliances, the propane appliances, actually running and tested. There's of course the plumbing, which I've now like just put on hold because all the plumbing is actually going to be on the inside of the walls. So I need to just finish up the electrical so that I could close up the walls. And of course insulation and vapor barrier and all that. So yeah, just really random right now. And all I gotta do, I guess, is just focus on one thing at a time and just look at a task, start working on it, get it done or get it half done or something, and then move on to the next thing. Electrical is still really cloudy for me. I'm not really sure what to do there. I've got a bit more of an idea now. I've been talking to my dad a bit, who knows a little bit about this kind of thing. It's probably just gonna take a good solid amount of time to sit down, do the research, and figure it out. In the meantime, so that's where I'm going to stick some silicone just to fill in that gap. There's not really too bad of a gap there, but on the other wheel well on the other side, you can actually see through it. Nice and goopy. Well, that was easy. I think I'm going to put some sill gasket down on the metal of the wheel well here, because I put it on all of the other metal of the trailer, and I feel like because it is metal, when it's cold, it could create a little bit of moisture on the inside of it. And rather than just have the insulation touching right up next to it, and the insulation is mold resistant anyway, but I feel like having this stuff, which is kind of a plastic foam, as the first thing touching it, I don't know, maybe it'll add a little bit of extra protection and a little bit of avoidance of any problems. It's probably unnecessary, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna cover the whole wheel well in sill gasket. So this is kind of a weird area for the vapor barrier. I'm just cutting up, well, I already did it, but just cut this down from there. I'm gonna tape it together with this piece down here. Get these to fold up onto the framing. This will eventually fold up, meet up with the piece that'll come down. See nothing wrong with that. So with that all in place, I'm just gonna start shoving insulation in. I've already shoved some into the corner there. I've got a lot of weird little scraps left over from the roof insulation, so that's what I'm gonna use to kind of fill in this space. I'm gonna start cutting weirdly sized chunks, I guess. Ta-da! I mind this kind of work, you know? It's almost relaxing to do it. It's a little fiddly and whatnot, but you know, you just take your time, get things in where they gotta be. I know that all I'm really doing right now, though, is putting off the electrical. Finding other things to do. It won't last forever, though. That's it for this week. Sorry this video was kind of lame. I'm really at a point right now with the build where I gotta do a lot of thinking. I'm pretty annoyed with myself about the propane regulator placement and not having a plan for that, so I gotta kind of figure out what I'm gonna do as far as making like a housing for it. It has to attach to the siding, I think. That's my only option. And I still have a lot of research to do about the electrical system, Mostly where things are going to go, what power requirements everything is going to have. I think I'm getting my head wrapped around how the input power is going to work. It's going to be kind of interesting. But yeah, not a total loss of a week. Getting the wheel well insulated was kind of nice. Having the storage loft kind of actually able to store things and not have to be taken apart again when I go to Poly is a nice thing. So just kind of like a little bit of chipping away at stuff this week, and hopefully I'll be able to do a little bit more next week, but it's probably going to be a bit more chipping away at stuff. There won't be a build video this Saturday as there has been for the past few weeks, simply because I've caught up, which is actually a good thing because I do need to spend a lot of time figuring stuff out with the build. So bear with me, it's probably going to be just one video a week for the next little while. There are a couple other videos that I have planned, such as like a channel intro. Anyways, see you next time at the Roost.